Could I ask Councillor Stallard, please, to hide your video? That makes sense. Thank you. Right, welcome, fellow councillors and officers, to Coychurch Crematorium Joint Committee meeting for the 1st of September. I have an opening statement which I'd like to make. Can I welcome all members and officers to this meeting of the Coychurch Crematorium Joint Committee, which has been convened as a hybrid meeting. The meeting is being recorded and will be available to view on the Council's website as soon as it's practical after this meeting. Everyone participating in the meeting will be accessing it either from the Council Chamber, Civic Offices, Angel Street, Bridgend, or from remote locations. Please could everybody ensure that mobile phones are switched off or in the silent mode. Members and officers will have received an electronic copy of the agenda, and I will ask officers to present a summary of key points for the record. The agenda can be viewed on the Council's website. Members and officers will be speaking at various points during the meeting, and those speaking may switch their microphones and where remote, their cameras on at that point. But I would ask that, with the exception of myself as the chairperson, at all other times, could you keep your cameras and microphones switched off, as this will help minimise any background noise and interference and ensure that the connection remains as stable as possible. Whether attending in the chamber or remotely, if any members or officers wish to raise a point or question, they should press the hands up icon on the screen at the top right hand side of the Microsoft Teams window, and I'll come to you in the order that I receive the request. Please lower your hand after you finish speaking, and the chat button has been disabled for this meeting. For those members attending in the chamber, please could you ensure you speak directly into the desk mic so it can be heard by those attending remotely. Please do not use your microphone unless I invite you to do so. Officers from Democratic Services will be supporting the meeting, and will be monitoring use of microphones throughout its duration, and where necessary will mute those not being used. I would also ask officers to introduce themselves as and when I invite them to speak during the course of the meeting, and they too should ensure microphones and cameras are switched off when not in use. I'll now proceed to agenda business. Right. Sorry. Right, first of all, apologies for absence. I haven't had any apologies for absence this afternoon, so we can move on. Are there any declarations of interest, please? I'm taking that as a no. Move on to approval of the previous minutes, and they were looking for approval for the 9th of the June 2023. I've got those minutes in front of me, and presumably you've read them. Can I ask Councillor Spanswick?
I move them as a correct record, Chair.
I'd second, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. For the tape, I'm Joanna Hamilton, the Bereavement Services Manager and Registrar for Coychurch Crematorium Joint Committee and for Bridgend County Borough Council. So the Green Flag Award report is on page 7, and it advises the Joint Committee on the crematorium's successful application for a Green Flag Award for 2023. The Green Flag Award is an accreditation given to publicly accessible parks and open spaces, primarily in the United Kingdom, but also around the world, in order to promote standards of excellence in good management and best practice amongst the green space sector. It's also seen as a way of encouraging high environmental standards. It's described by its issuers, Keep Britain Tidy, As an internationally recognised award, this is a benchmark for well-managed green space. Whilst public parks make up most of the awardees, the Green Flag Award is also issued to sites with different uses, for example, universities and shopping centres, for the management of their grounds, and also a few crematoria. The owners of spaces that wish to hold the accreditation pay a fee to be assessed by judges on an annual basis, with a process involving the inspection of both the site and the written management plans and processes. I thought it might interest the Joint Committee to know that the aspects that the spaces are judged on are a welcoming place, healthy, safe and secure, well maintained and clean, environmental management, biodiversity, landscape and heritage, community involvement, marketing and communication, and management. A failure to meet the judges' standards will result in the accreditation being withdrawn. The Green Flag Award was introduced in 1996 and it was first awarded in 1997. And Coychurch Crematorium received its first award in 2010 and annually thereafter, with the 14th award being received on the 18th of July this year. The award confirms the crematorium's commitment to maintaining high standards of maintenance and management of the site and grounds to benefit its users. There will be no award ceremony this year, and the green flag has been delivered directly to the crematorium. Keep Wales Tidy issued a formal announcement of awards on the 18th of July, and on the 21st of July, Bridgend Council issued its normal press release to promote the success of the crematorium, which can be read on page 11. The crematorium will submit a new application for the award in January 2024 at a cost of £350. The Joint Committee is recommended to please note the report. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Joanne. Anybody wish to? I can see a hand up. Councillor John Spanswick.
Thank you, Chair. And just put in order first, I'd like to move that we note the report, but also to pass our thanks to Joanne and the team for what is an amazing achievement. 14 years in a row. There's not many parks or public spaces that I'm aware of that have kept up 14 years of consistent high standards. And it's not just a rubber stamping exercise. There are judges come around, there's a criteria to comply with, and a lot of work goes in behind the scenes, keeping those grounds the way they are. I think it should even be perhaps green flag plus for this one. But well done to all. Thank you.
Councillor John.
I would second Councillor Spanswick. I endorse everything he said. I think this is just testament to the hard-working team at Coychurch Crematorium. Absolutely, year after year on year, it's absolutely brilliant. And I couldn't thank them anymore. It's tremendous. Well done.
Councillor Shell.
Yeah, not Councillor Chair. So for the purposes of the recording, Zach Shell, I'm the Clerk and Technical Officer for the Coychurch Crem, and in my main role, Head of Operations for Bridgend Council's Communities Department. I'd just like to contribute and add to Joanna's report and really join the thanks to the team. It's very easy for me as a Head of Operations, where that team has been delivering against the Green Flag Award for 14 years in a row, to start to take it for granted, to assume that we're going to get it and take it as a matter of course. And, you know, I really have to remind myself of how much good management and hard work from the team goes into maintaining this standard year in, year out. So for me, it's really thanks to my team and thanks to Joanna in particular for continuing to maintain this award, if I may.
Thank you, and I can only endorse those comments of my colleagues and yourself, Zach. Tremendous achievement maintaining those standards, and hopefully it will continue in the years to come. Big thank you to the team as well. Thank you very much. Just that's working. Move to item 5, and I think I'm coming on to Dean Jones, I think.
Yes, you are. My
Thank
apologies.
you very much.
Hi. For the purpose of the recording, My name is Dean Jones. I am the accountant of the Financial Control and Controlling team for Bridgend County Borough Council. As in point 1.1 of the report on page 13, the purpose of the report is to inform the Joint Committee of the income and expenditure for the first quarter of the 23-24 financial year, along with projection of the final outturn for 23-24, and to provide an update to the committee in relation to the annual accounting statement for 22-23. As illustrated in point 3.1 on page 14, the deficit is £311,000 for the year 23-24, compared to a projected deficit of £71,000 when the budget was set out. This is an increase in deficit of £240,000, which is primarily due to driven by a projected overspend in the Flower Court extension capital spend, which is illustrated in point 3.2 on page 14. The capital works for the, as you'll notice in that table, the capital works for the Chapel of Remembrance will no longer be undertaken, and instead over £11,000 has been spent from the day-to-day maintenance revenue budget on various chapel refurbishments. In relation to the annual accounting statement for the 31st of March 23 or 22-23, as illustrated in point 3.3 on page 15, it has been submitted to Audit Wales in July of this year, and it showed a deficit of 361,665 and an accumulated balance of 2,817,942 as at the end of March. Appendix 1 is a copy of the signed report provided to audit. It is anticipated that the annual accounting statement will be audited later in the year, but if they are not able to be signed and published by the 30th of September, the Council will publish a Regulation 10 notice setting out the reasons why. Audit as advised, the audit will be completed in autumn, but haven't given a date or time frame yet. All financial impacts are reflected within the report. What I recommend to the Joint Committee is to note the income and expenditure for the first quarter of the 23-24 financial year, along with a projection of the final outturn for 23-24 and the position in relation to the audit of the annual accounting statement 22-23. I'd like to thank you for listening and return back to the chairman.
Thank you, Dean. Can I ask if there's any questions? Councillor Spanswick.
Oh, but yeah, it's on. Right, come on now.
You're on.
Didn't hit the button hard enough, probably. Thank you, Chair. Yeah, firstly, to move the report, the recommendation 9.1, accept the income expenditure for the first quarter and the outturn for last year. And like I've said previously, this is one of probably the only committee left where it's pleasing to have a financial report that we're not struggling to deal with the financial situation, albeit there's an overspend. That overspend, that must be one of the best overspends ever, because prior to this meeting, we've had a visit and seen the Flower Court extension before it's finished, and we could spend that 10 times over and still be value for money for what we've seen today. Absolutely amazing. So pleased to move this account to approval, Chair, and thanks again for all the financial work behind the scenes.
Thank you, Councillor Spanswick. Councillor John.
Second that, Chair.
There we are. I mean, yeah, I would endorse Councillor Spanswick's comments. It's absolutely tremendous down there, you know, and seeing it today, and it's far exceeded what I expected, quite honestly. And I think when it's all finished, and it'll be absolutely wonderful, one addition to the crematorium. And I think this has only enhanced our status as a top crematorium in the country, as far as I'm concerned. Absolutely brilliant. I think it's yes, money well spent. We had it in reserves, and we've used that money to good effect. And I think that's what it's all about, basically. And we still got a good support in reserves, so we can go on from there. But certainly, I'm absolutely delighted. Thank you. I would second Councillor Spanswick.
Thank you very much. And having visited the crematorium today, I was absolutely amazed how good everything looked, and clearly a lot of hard work has gone in by quite a number of people. And I must thank personally Joanne for keeping her finger on the pulse, and she's done a cracking job down there. Absolutely brilliant. And thank you. And the recommendations have been moved and seconded, John? Fine, and thank you very much for that. I come to item 6. I've not been informed of any urgent business, so I'm going to declare the meeting closed. And thank you for all your attendance, and keep safe.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.